most we can go say all praises be
Yeah,
to you.
Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, HaKadosh.
We're going to say double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Right, shalom to sincere elect, teaching the truth in faith and sincerity. And come, man, you know, we are just going into a few scriptures, go in the spirit, you know, of just, you know, of course, as we can see, man, things are heating up, you know, these things are happening like upon the earth. You know, as we know, the scripture says in Revelation 12, the devil's going to come down with great wrath because, you know, he has but a short time, you know, and it's like, you know, sometimes, especially, you know, being that we're in the flesh at times, especially for brothers that are newer in the faith and growing, you know, your mind might run wild in terms of the future, in terms of, like, what's going to happen, this or that. But what we do know is that, Lord willing, if we are the elect, the Lord's going to make a way for his elect, you know, and it's this, like, the great stories of salvation and mercy that we all read about in the scriptures that inspire us were always born out of tough times, you know, whether it's like the three holy children, the Daniel in the lion's den, you know, and much more, you know. So yeah, so with that, yeah, let's go in the spirit, and of course, you know, hey, anything you want to say, bro? Yep.
Matthew 6:34. Take therefore no thought for the morrow shall take thought of the things of itself.
Yeah, because, you know, sometimes you know, obviously as we work 9 to 5, and, you know, you might be handling your responsibilities, your family, your children, anything it may be. Your mind at times might be running wild. Okay, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do this. But it's like on a daily basis, we already catch enough hell. Yep. So why, you know, overburden your mind with, you know, so much of this and that about the future? Really, it's about faith, you know, and faith gets tested, faith gets built up, and faith is ultimately a gift. That's why it's always important to pray for more faith, and that our faith stays strong, you know what I mean, and remains, you know. Yeah.
Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof.
Yeah, because we catch enough hell, like, on a daily basis. Why, you know, like, overburden your mind? But really, as we know, it's about to be a time of trouble that's never been before. But it's also going to be a time of salvation that's never been before. You know, because it's the righteousness, the Lord is going to show out for his elect. You know what I mean? Like, he's really going to show that he's, you know, then shall be known who am I chosen, as the scripture says.
Bring that out. Basically what you're saying about Jacob's trouble, right? Because this is something we keep harping on about, that we're making you aware of, right? This is what Donald Trump is all about, making you aware of the things that are to come upon our people primarily. You know, not only just the things that are coming upon the earth, but specifically for our people, right? It's going to be a time of trouble in the whole earth, but the focus has always been the Lord's people. Right, the focus has always been Lord's people, and this is what we focus. We focus on the elect of our people, because we know 2/3 of our people are going to be destroyed in the land of America, right? And so we focus on those that can be saved, right? So, and same in the scriptures, we focus on those that can be saved, right? So this is Jeremiah chapter 30. I'm going to read from verse 4, right? And it says that these are the words of the Lord's. That the Lord spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. And thus saith the Lord Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. We're not living in peaceful times. And you can look around and see that for yourselves. You know, the scripture speaks about we're in the days or the time of evil. That is where we currently are. We're in the last days, and nothing but evil is coming upon the earth, right? It says, verse 6, ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore that do I see every man with his hands on his loins, right? In pain and you know, in anguish, right? It says, and all faces are turned into paleness, right? It says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it, right? So the time that we speak about in the last days isn't comparable to the events that have taken place before, right? This is bigger than that, right? It's well, I like to compare it. It's like these things that happened before were in isolation in different regions and whatever. This is going to happen on a global scale. Jake is all over the world, and every Jake's going to feel it all over the earth. All right, so it's going to be a massive undertaking, man. Right, compared to, you know, any time before this, right? Just like all the wars before, nothing compared to the world wars when they took place. Yeah, there was wars before, big wars, but was it comparable to the World War I and World War II? No, it weren't.
And then even when you on that, when you look at what the scripture says, it says, before it was, in Isaiah,
Sure.
yeah, and like sword, but they shall be burned with fuel and fire, right? Because even World War II, right, that was a deadly war, but the war that's about to happen before the nukes even fly is going to be even deadlier because they've got significantly advanced weaponry now,
and there's significantly more people on the planet, right? Which is another factor in all of this,
and very closely populated, densely populated. So you look at a few strikes on London. Nowadays that's a lot. That's a lot of casualties. Especially like with all the high rises that they've been building, over the last however many years in the UK. That's now becomes like mass casualty events.
Because he's been trafficking all these people into tight spaces. Claiming there's no space on that.
Yeah.
So when these attacks happen and they things occur, right? There's going to be mass casualties, man.
Yeah.
Just because that Esau said, had the Most High set it up, really, for to take judgment against them.
Yeah, that's a very good point because you remember, like, earthquakes might happen in like places like Turkey. Remember a couple of years ago, and you just hear mad numbers like 60,000 people just like gone like that.
Or even we had the earthquake and mudslide. One was in Pakistan, but the other one was somewhere else. I can't remember.
Like a month or two ago.
And some thousands of people died and whatever. And then a lot of large numbers in themselves. But like tolls of 60, hundreds of thousands. That's what we're going to be seeing. When these things happen.
Even remember a couple months ago, Jakes were getting scared with the earthquakes. I believe it was in Thailand. Like they had high rises. And like just doing that shit.
Yeah, it was wobbling,
Like people were like, I'm getting a plane, I'm getting out of it. You know what I mean? But the destruction and judgment that's about to come, like you're gonna need salvation. Like we're gonna physically need it. We're gonna be physically needed to be extracted from the earth, like physically.
That's right.
Like we're gonna actually have to be beaten up. And it's funny, it's interesting that we're talking about how densely populated these cities on how the death toll can go up. I was thinking about the point I always mention is that it actually makes sense why Babylon the Great as well is gonna like all those who bend the bow is gonna shoot at her and spray no kind of arrows. Because it's like if let's say with all the nukes that was available, it was a balanced destruction. Like let's say some go to Babylon and some go everywhere else in the world. The whole world like it would be destroyed. It makes sense that at some point, those nations that's illegal Babylon and the nations that are already against Babylon are gonna just like, look, let's have everything go there because as a landmass is far away from the majority of the main part of the world. Like if you think about it, imagine a couple of nukes like all over Europe and Middle East, like it would be all gone.
Another thing as well. Because the truth is, a lot of Jake are in these cities, right? A lot of us that believe and that pray when Yahweh we're in these cities, or at least around it, right? Majority of us in America, and that's going to be the place of the greatest judgment. And so, like we're speaking about these miracles that the Lord has performed in the past times, right? These are things we take to ourselves to bolster our faith, because in those sort of times the Lord can deliver.
Look.
I have a precept.
You want to say something? No,
I was going to say like Lot, and there's because when you look at Lot, he's talking about cities, right? Abraham was like, "Yo, like Lord," so because really it was just that one person. Because imagine that was, and not an extraction like we're about to see, but the Lord, He made sure that Lot was out of the way first, and then the cities got judged.
I have a precept. I have a quick one. This is 1 Peter 4:17. For the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of God. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel? And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and sinner appear? Wherefore, let them that suffer according to the will of the Most High commit their keeping of their souls to him in well doing as unto a faithful creator. So the scripture says the righteous shall be scarcely saved, man. You know, scarcely is like the skin of your teeth. And it's like, hey, the scriptures, you know, it also says judgment is going to begin at the house of Israel, which we've seen the judgment taking place in regards to certain peoples and camps being exposed. That's judgment. A form of judgment is to be exposed, man. In regards to, you know, like, you know, dudes, you know, the chiefest priests, you know what I mean, or camps just being made manifest that they just don't have the spirit. You know, that's why Psalm 51, man, we obviously all pray for mercy that we stay on the path, man. You know, but point is, the righteous is going to be scarcely saved. So if the righteous is going to be scarcely saved, so how much more there are people who ain't going to get mercy?
Yeah, where's the space for them to make it?
Yeah.
You know?
And if you go into scarcely, it says, Molis, it says with difficulty, hardly, not easily. Yeah, which is, well, that's another point. Because these plantationites, right, you know, these plantation Christians and stuff, they act like the when the Lord comes, yeah, everyone's just gonna go up. And then basically everyone's gonna go up for a 7-year period, and then they're gonna come, like, it's nonsense, bro. Nah, it's scarcely it's literally beam me up, Scotty. You know what I'm saying?
Get me out of here.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it's gonna be.
Because you imagine, you know, where he speaks about the destruction of America, right, and how America's gonna be set on fire, right? The elect that will be delivered out of the place. You know, it's gonna be a matter of moments. Like, before those missiles land, the elect are gonna be taken out. But it's gonna be like that. You know, the situation with Moses and the Israelites coming out of Egypt, right? It was at that do or die type moment. You know, they knew Pharaoh was hot on the tail, right?
Scarcely.
They were stuck by the sea with no way to escape, and it was only a matter of moments for Pharaoh and the men would have turned up. You know, maybe a matter of hours or whatever the case may be, but they were there to stay at death because they had no way to fight them. Just like now, we don't have no way to fight our enemies. You know, we can't stop the nukes from falling. Just like, well, how do we get out of this situation? And so when the Lord started parting the sea through Moses, and that, it's like, right, there's a way out. But we know what that way out is. So we have hope in the fact that what you call UFOs is, you know, vessels of our salvation.
I agree, sir. This is 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. There have no temptation taking you such as coming to man. But the Most High is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you're able. But will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that you may also be able to bear it. Now, of course, in our daily lives, we always go through hells and situations that the Lord, you know, makes a way, you know, for you to be able to bear it. And it's like, further on to the point, if we're of the predestined, like, elect, it's going to be the same thing, but just on a bigger scale. It's like, yo, that's why when people talk about, oh, so what happens if you get chipped? None of the elect is going to get chipped. That's it.
Touch not my elect, man.
That's it.
The Lord's going to have it so where they're not in that type of situation. If they're in that situation, they get busted out of that situation. You know, it doesn't happen to them.
Yeah. You know, it's simple. Like Lot was out of the city. You know, the 3 holy children, they didn't bow. Even though, you know, everyone else, they didn't bow. Daniel was in the lion's den. He still didn't bow. I mean, like, and guess what? In that tight circumstance where there seemed like there was no way, a way was made. You know?
And again, with the you know, the MOTB, you know, the RFID, it's all about making you bow. And it speaks about the men that have taken out, that they know that they didn't bow their knee to bow, which is Lord, which is, you know, basically their master, which is Esau in this current time. Can't not.
A few verses. Isaiah 41 from 10. Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy power. I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with thy right hand of my righteousness. Behold, all they that were incensed against thee shall be ashamed and confounded.
Our enemies, right? All those that stand against us, stand against his truth, stand against Yahweh Shai. Right? They're the ones that are going to be ashamed in that time, man. Because they were going to, you know, make judgments based off the flesh.
Mm.
You know, we're in the spirit. We know what's expected of us in the spirit. You know, Lord, will the Lord stay with us, you know, through those times for us to do what's required of us, you know. But everybody else is gonna make that move, that allegiance with Esau, you know.
They shall be as nothing, and they that strive with thee shall perish. Thou shalt seek them and shalt not find them, even them that contended with thee. They that war against thee shall be as nothing, and as a thing of naught. For I, the Lord Yahweh, thy power, will hold thy right hand, saying unto thee, Fear not, I will help thee. Fear not, thou worm Jacob, and ye men of Israel, I will help thee, saith Yahweh, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel.
So that's another thing we recognize. We recognize we're the ones that need help.
Yeah.
That we are actually worms, man. There's nothing that we can do about our own situation.
Yeah.
You know, all we can do is tend upon the Lord, man, and pray that He can help. That He will help us.
Yeah.
You know, so that requires, you know, repenting and being obedient, right? Because we can't take ourselves out of the situations that we're in and how the world is around us. We can't change on those things. You know.
Yep. Yeah. It's just Daniel, and you know, I was thinking about, you know what I mean, like a worm, like the nature of a worm. It's just vulnerable, bro. Like it's prey. Like there's
no offensive mechanisms, there's no defensive mechanisms. It's soft body, everything.
That's it. They're just waiting to just get plucked.
All they can do is hide.
Yeah,
in the dirt.
That's it.
You know, and they have to come up. They have to come up with something.
Yeah.
You know.
So,
So it's like it's actually it's interesting. You know, right? It says Daniel 12:1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince was standing for the children of thy people. And there shall be a children of thy people, by the way, thy people, you know, because people are like, bro,
the Lord ain't got a people.
like the Lord ain't got a people, the children of thy people.
Yeah, the children.
The
as well.
children, that the
children.
Seed, it's attached to the seed of thy people, the children of thy people. All right? The scripture says, we, thy people, that's called thy fervent lover. You know what I mean? The people is Israel, man.
Yep.
Right? Then there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation. And guess what? You can see that, you know, with the emergence of artificial intelligence, you know, the beast system that already exists before our face. It just needs to be switched on, bro. You know what I mean? That plug just needs to be, you know, the phone charger got to get plugged in. You know what I mean? It's already there.
Well, let's just say that sword is furbished.
Yeah.
Right. My man's been preparing this sword for a long time. It's you know, it's pretty polished right now, ready to make a sword slaughter, ready to be used against the people. It's there ready, man.
Yeah. So it's like it's just people act like it's no, it's already here. You know, like the way Esau's built his system is in stages that now basically they can all function as one. You know what I mean? Like, you know, these, like, you know, that Palantir database, basically bringing different types of information and making it one. You know, leopards shall watch over their cities, man. You know, which the chip is just the final capstone of that, because you just make yourself a slave. You're just joined. You're just gone.
You know what's funny about that Palantir thing as well? Because then you don't watch the movie Lord of the Rings, right? The Palantir with these orbs that you know they could see into, right? They could see, you know, things in the future, right? But every time they used it, Sauron, who is the villain in the story, could see them. He could see them, right? He could see into that world. If you used it, he knew he was using it. He could see where you know what was going on, what he was doing, all that kind of thing. He's spying on you because he's the one in control of the Palantir. You know, he saw the one at the top of it, wanting to see what you're doing. Right, because like I said, but Sauron's the villain in the movie, right? He's the one that wants the power over all things. So, you know, the One Ring and all this kind of stuff. He's the one that's trying to create that order for himself, right? So just know that this is nefarious. It ain't nothing to do with humanity and helping or progressing humanity. It's nothing to do with that. These men are evil, wicked villains. You know, Esau is the villain in the story. You know, beginning with these elites. You know,
and it says. And at that time, there shall be a time of troubles as such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered. Everyone that shall be found written in the book shall be. Like that's the thing. It's like we just hope and pray that we're of the elect in it, and if we are of the elect, then we're gonna make it. You know, Lord willing. But if we're written to, we're gonna make it. It's basically everyone has a part that they're written to in the story. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, a director of a movie knows who's gonna die off, who's gonna overcome, who's gonna. It's like you know when you watch films, yeah, and there's like the hero seems like he's losing, but if you know the script, you know somehow he's gonna
get through that.
He's gonna get through that. You ever see them scenes when he's on a cliff and the villain's stepping on his fingers, and there's that 2-finger, and just as he slips, then the hand comes from somewhere.
That's it.
It's his boy that he left his charger that came back. You know what I mean? The same day, you know.
But even like that same situation, the guy falls.
Yeah, he does fall.
I just say he falls, right? Somehow he survives and he comes back and gets the revenge or whatever the case may be. We know that's the story of Jacob. You know, we know that's the story of the Israelites, man, because that's the prophecies. And a lot of Christians, you want to ignore the prophecies concerning Israel and, you know, our rise and our falls and, you know, our ultimate exaltation, glorifying with Yahushua. You want to ignore those things. But these are the things that have to happen. And there's a certain, you know, I know you look down on a lot of people, you know, Jake out there in the world, right? But there's an elect of them, right, that are not like the rest of them, that the Lord deems precious to him, right, that he's going to deliver, right? And they're going to overcome all kind of odds, you know, and be saved, right? Just because that's the, you know, the great mercy and will of the Heavenly Father, right? But they out of Israel are going to be delivered, right? And we're banking on them because we believe these stories, man. This is not just a storybook. We believe in these words, right, and the things that the Lord has done for the children of Israel in the past, right? And we believe it can happen again, right? So we're banking on that, Lord, when we build the elect, that we can be delivered from these times that we're in.
Yeah, there ain't no plan B. You know, you know how these women, they take plan B. Like there's no plan B, bro. Like you know, like a demon that brothers have to deal with when the Lord has had his first learners that you might have had people in your life that might say, oh, so what you're gonna do is what you believe is not true. It's true. This is what we believe. This is our faith, and that's it. There ain't no if the prophecies don't come to pass. The prophecies are gonna come to pass.
They're coming to pass,
and they're coming to pass.
Yeah. And that's even a dynamic that's in the scriptures, right? You're meant to be tested by those non-believers, right?
No,
those are the two. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And you know, where's the promise of his coming? And all these different types of scriptures, right? They're there to test your faith, right? Because if we you know, it's like you're investing in the crypto world, right? And you like you put money in, it's taking better long. Anyone that's ever done it, you know what I'm talking about, innit? But then you know, you can fuck it, I'm gonna pull it out. But then like a week later, it boosts, you know what I mean? It pumped and you missed out on it. Like it's like that. You have to just believe that it's gonna work out, innit?
You gotta hold.
You gotta hold, right? Hold on with dear life. But we have these examples again, we can get into. Like when Noah was told about the flood, it's like he was doing that for like 100 years, down in building that boat and being ridiculed, right? If he gave up at any moment in time, but if the flood came, he wasn't prepared, he wasn't ready. He would have got taken away. But we know the Lord, because Noah was of the elect, right? Noah had that spirit in him to persevere all of that and do what he was supposed to do. And that's what we need to do. We just need to do what we've been commanded to do. And surely enough, when it happens, because we're not saying like, we've been out here for a while, we've been about Elves and Apostles years talking about these things, and it hasn't occurred yet. And the end times, the end hasn't happened yet, right? But it's getting closer, right? And so even though we can't tell you when, your job is to be vigilant until that day. So whatever the name says, man, F you, we're gonna continue doing this until whatever happens first, we die or the Lord comes, wherever it comes first, you know what I'm saying? We'll do it. But we don't see it like, again, like Al-Azhar, we'll be here 1,000 years.
1,000 years.
We had the discussion the other day. Like,
that's
actually, it doesn't even make any sense, really. But, but it's like, even if it was that, we would continue to hold.
Yeah, that's it. Hold, yeah.
You know what I mean? Regardless of life, you know what I mean, or whatever, we'll just continue to hold because we believe that at some point the word will come true. Have a cook, you know what I mean? It's you want to get that first? I'll grab Habakkuk.
Okay. It says Sirach 39 from the top, but he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High and is occupied in the meditation thereof will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied in prophecies. Right? And it's just like, if you're watching, as we'll come on to do, if you're watching, you can't draw any other conclusion that this is it. You know, you see the rhetoric that Trump's putting, you see what, you know, systems are being built globally. And that's the thing. You see he's building, he will have you believe that there's only technology in America, right? And nowhere else in the world has technology. America and China are the only places. But then when you speak to and see things from different parts of the world, you're just there like, yo, this system is ready. Right, and as the bro was saying earlier on, all it just takes is a switch, and that can come at any point. Like today's the memorial of 9/11, right? And it's just like that was a day that changed the world, and that was instant.
That's what I'm saying. These switches are these events we keep talking about. These global events that take place because we never know which ones are good. What we do know is that every time these global events happen, something changes after it. And whether it's the final flip of the switch, you know, we're just waiting for that event.
Birth pangs.
You know, but we do know that it's gonna come because you wouldn't have all this infrastructure, you know, sitting there and not use it. It's like all these executive orders that they pass and don't use them. Why would they even pass them? What's the point? It's them just sitting on it because they want everybody when they do flip that final switch, that everything's there ready for them to use.
Yeah, because then there's no, we've got to go to court.
Yeah, go through the long process of these things. Like, no, it's there ready for you. You know.
Yeah, and then even you obviously had this dude that got supposedly taken out online. Even just now, you've seen the social conversation. It's like a lot of Jake is happy that's happened, and a lot of Christian is salty. So it's like those, and then obviously you had a situation the other day of the Jake and the lady, you know, getting stabbed or whatever. So you just know that part of the tensions, the switches between the people, like people, you know, and you know, they always say, what's the favorite? One of the favorite sayings of the elites: you never let a good crisis go to waste.
So what do you do? Great crisis.
Great crisis. So it's like it's very interesting how this thing happened just in and around 9/11. I mean, I don't know what time.
In the States, it was on the 10th in the States.
Yeah, so just it's like in and around that time period. Everyone, you know, it's interesting that that's happened now. You know what I mean? So now we'll wait to see how this is going to be spun.
That's it. When things were speaking about that though, about how with these elite kind of families or these people that have been chosen for these certain roles, they will happily sacrifice themselves for the greater agenda. You know, he probably knew that, all right, cool, this is my last time out, told us, gave everyone a special hug, right? Because even it's just, you know, we watching the video, I don't really remember, maybe it's just the social media era. I don't really ever remember something that's graphic kind of like that on
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
No.
It's not uncensored or anything on Twitter. It's like, wait there.
Yeah.
You know, videos just up.
And you know, it's funny, his group, his organization is called Turning Point. You were saying
Turning Point.
So is this definitely going to be a turning point?
That's it.
Like intentions, like in relations.
It's definitely going to amp it up.
It's definitely.
Look at Trump's response.
The finals.
Man's throwing out death sentences, bro. Man's talking death sentences.
And it's funny that the guy who took him out, it was supposedly like an old E. It wasn't even a J.
But if you apply the laws on some, you know, just anybody, you can apply it to anybody. It's the same thing with the whole National Guard situations in you know, where you set that up, New York, isn't it? No, DC, right? If he's applied it there, he can apply it elsewhere. All he has to do is deem you unfit to, you know, to protect, you know, certain states, where he can just do that. You know, so once they set presidencies, they can be touched again. You know, they can be done again. You know, and you know, going back to the whole crises that, you know.
So correction, they've said he's not the shooter because I saw
Oh,
something.
They say that he's not the shooter.
Yeah. But no, it's because that's what they originally said.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
But I saw something on USA Today, like maybe an hour ago, that basically said that the suspects that were arrested got released. So maybe
it might even be a joke.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it may be a thing where it's like that was that they actually did the thing, but it was like, nah, come on, guys, you were sloppy there. You wasn't supposed to get caught, bro. You do it.
But like I said, it doesn't even matter who's doing it. Yeah. Like you saw, you know, attack from certain angles, but it doesn't matter who does it. It's just a reason to do something else afterwards. You know, and I say back to those crises that has been kind of done up on the earth right now. It's like, why wait for a crisis when you can make one?
Yeah.
If the devil knows he has but a short time, why would you just wait?
Yeah.
When he's got the power to create it.
You just make it happen.
He's gonna make it go faster, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to research?
So no, it's just Trump says martyr for truth.
Oh, come on.
True. His, you know, their version of truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like the great American sacrifice essentially. And it's like you know what they say. They always say you can kill the man but not the idea. It's like what should now become a symbolism of like a dying for America's revolution. Like, you know what I mean? You know, you can see it being spun in so many ways.
But this is the thing, like when did, you know, these Edomites care about truth?
Yeah,
he's going to say this guy was a hero.
Yeah.
Right. But then what about, you know, Julian Assange or it was, you know, Snowden or whatever, right?
That's a good point.
Why don't you just let them go then or whatever? If you care about truth so much, because he spilled the beans and he become an enemy. He become an enemy, man. But you don't really care about truth. You care about agendas. That's what you care about.
I have a precept. This is 2 Ezra 13 and 29. Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth, and he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth, because then eventually the Lord is going to send his son. You know, remember, the Lord doesn't know the actual day he's coming back. You know, that shows you there are two different beings, man, entities.
Which shows you the importance of the element of surprise. Don't just blur out, because Trump's always talking about what he's going to do. You know, no, we're kept in the dark, right? For reasons known to the Heavenly Father, in it, right? Because if we were waiting on a particular day, it'd be a bit obvious, isn't it? You know what I mean? Jake wouldn't get right into the very last day and all these different types of things. You know what I mean? Esau, you know, you know, you act differently knowing what day it was. You know.
That's it.
But the Lord is coming as a thief in the night.
Yeah. If I can read this, as I was looking in that article, one thing as well, that Charlie Kirk guy was 31 years old. Yeah. So it says Trump cited as evidence of the assassination attempt on him in Butler, Pennsylvania thing. In July 2024, recent attacks on ICE agents, the 2017 shooting of then House Majority Leader Steve Scalise, and the vicious murder of a healthcare executive in the streets of New York, in a reference to the fatal shooting last December of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. So all of these different events, which at the time were singular events, are now building up and being packaged as left versus right? Civil war, if you will. Okay. So it's you know, it's very, very, very interesting, because even the fact that they're putting in healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, that like he wasn't either left, no, he was just one guy that actually most Americans hate what he represents, whether they're on the left or the right, because that the healthcare stuff just fucks all the Americans up.
I have a bit more. This is back in what I was reading in, it's like I don't know why, Second Ezra 13 and 21. It's like Second Ezra 13, 21. Where is it? 13 and 31. It says, and one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. And it's like, you know, even on Babylon, scripture says it, Isaiah, you know, Egyptian against Egyptian.
You know, like
pandemonium. Remember, basically Elon Musk and them guys at the time were speaking about different crises. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Once you keep, the best way to control people is if you keep them in a constant state of fear and anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? People always paranoid. It's change your role. Like, people are going to be like, not knowing who to believe and what to do.
Confusion.
Yeah, because I was going to say this. What they're basically also setting up is this idea that is spoken of in the scriptures, 2 Ezra 15, about not regarding kings nor princes, right? Because you're going to have a whole load now of some of these other conservative talkers
taking matters into their own hands.
Taking matters into their own hands. Then also people wanting to protect themselves, like someone like a Matt Walsh right now. You have someone else like, fuck, we just take this guy out, right? And then that's going to start spiraling till, because in certain of these third world countries, bro, if the people then don't like you, like, they'll just roll up in your yard and take you out, right? But that's coming to America. This is why it's written of in the prophecies, man. Not regard kings nor princes.
I'll read this from Isaiah 19, verse 1. It says, the burden of Egypt, spiritually talking about America today, right? It said, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the islands of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And this is what we're witnessing. Egypt is ultimately failing, and the people are in a distressed state right now, not knowing what's going on. They're in a state of confusion, right, and fear. So I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Right, so that's that civil war, and that's why you got the left, right fighting each other. Right, you got the race, the racial tensions taking place. Right, that's all because America's imploding. Right, because most times put that spirit in there, and Trump is an agent to provoke all of that. And you're seeing that's what's going on. Hey, shalom, Mark, shalom. And like I said, you see that's what's taking place now. What's been happening, right? And every instance that's happening that goes on, these assassinations or whatever, right? That's only fueling that fire, right? And Trump is fanning it. He's fanning it, and using these excuses to bring down draconian law, right? So the devil can bare his teeth, right? That lion that was speaking sweetly, is now talking like a dragon. That's why he just said that these men should be put to death or whatever the case may be. And that's something he's said previously.
For many years about guillotines, all these things.
Yeah, and he's in power now, so he can make it happen.
Yeah. This is 2 Ezra 15 and 14. It says, woe to the woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hand. And it's like, obviously, prophecy takes place upon earth, but Babylon the Great is like a major hub of prophecy in terms of, that's like the main land where a lot of things are going to be playing out. Things are going to be happening in the earth, like, because it says woe to the world, doesn't it? You know what I mean? But Babylon is like, focus. That's a focal point. You know what I mean? It's like, whatever happens, like in Babylon, is broadcasted instantly upon the planet, bro. You know what I'm saying? It says, for the sword and destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand to fight against another. And it's like, even if you look at the state of affairs of Babylon over the last couple of years, coming out of the scene 19, the whole battle with the right and left, conspiracy theorists, the Trump, the Biden, all of that kind of stuff, and what's happened since. It's like, people are on the edge, bro. People are on the edge. People are tense. So it's like people are ready to fight. You know what I mean? Like, how many times do you see on TikTok people breaking down about the standards of living? How everything's changed, how everything's at a worse level than before.
It's happening to more and more people, so you're going to see it more and more. People are going to vent their frustration on social media and all these types of things. This is what they're doing.
Yeah, and eventually, if you back enough people into a corner, they're gonna crash out. Like even a mouse, you back a mouse into a corner. Yeah. I mean, if it gonna jump at you, like nigga. You know what I mean, you know, if you try to escape, it gets desperate.
And this is the thing. This is the situation that Esau is kind of banking on, right? Because a lot of you are going to break under that pressure, right, and do what you basically ask you, because you're going to be looking for that peace and safety, right? Now you're going to have the other side of that, where these guys that are somewhat in the know that this is just a government play, you know, an elite play to control everybody, and so you're going to get the two sides, the resistance, you know, that are fighting against the government, and those that are just the sheep, that are going to, you know, be blaming these people for what's going on, and we're going to be classified as part of that resistance because we prophesy against this place, and we're not down with the agendas that you're trying to enforce and you're trying to push upon the people, right? And so this group is going to be disgruntled, and they're going to advocate everything that you're saying.
Yes, the CV was the greatest example of that. It showed you just how easy it.
They'll back
it.
Yeah.
You know, and we saw that during COVID, because man, we're losing their minds, man, during the pandemic.
Well, for you, we'd be out already. Just wear your
they're all calling you murderers and stuff like that. Like, and they didn't understand what was really going on. So it's like, you know, but he was told that this is what's going on.
And they use, as has always been said by the apostles, right? They use their figureheads, right? Whether it was your late night talk show hosts or whatever, to basically take, you know, a mandate pushing the thing, right? The Jews. And then I always remember there was a thing of like, well, actually, if you've not taken the juice, I think if there's someone else that is in a hospital, they should be treated first. You don't deserve to be treated. Basically, you deserve to die.
But I mean, it's not the same kind of level, but it's sort of like, you know, when every time it comes to a vote, you know, the voting thing, people will come up with that. Like even people that niggas don't even know about politics. They're like, listen, like you can't complain about the system if you're not voting. So if you're not voting, I don't want to hear nothing you got to say. It's just these little doctrines. So even the same with the jab, it's like people were acting like if you're not jabbed, die.
Yeah.
And if you die, don't complain because you're not jabbed. So you can easily see.
But the thing is, they're being told that, but they can't contract.
Exactly.
You're preventing people from contracting it, but we know that wasn't the truth. If you took it, you could still contract it and pass it on and do all these different things. So it's like, what is it you think you're doing?
It just showed the amount of power the elites have on these people. Right, the elites probably just in the roast. Like, I can't believe they're buying this. You know, the ones there.
But it separated those that did believe in it and those that didn't believe in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because obviously there was still a portion of it that was like, with it, right? And so, but they got to see that clearly, you know, what it is that they can make this group of people do, and what might they need to do with this other group of people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because some of these people can be broken.
Yeah.
But some of them you're gonna have to break, which you know, by different means.
What's that document? The program?
Yeah.
Always get mixed up. Is it Red Safe or Project Megiddo? The one that has a list of free. They got the red list.
Project Megiddo.
Is it Project Megiddo? The red list, the blue list, and your yellow list. The red list is like the ones that just know they got to take out. The blue is the ones who follow the red. The yellow, the serfs that they know they're gonna accept fucking anything.
Yeah.
And it's funny because that's basically what the AI parliamentarian. That's what that is. Sifting through. Because remember
watching your socials.
That's what the UK government already came out and told you that they are compiling and have a list of people who they believe are most likely to kill. And then on top of that, you know, you have the whole pre-crime thing.
Well, if they had it, you know, in its full thing, they could have stopped Charlie.
Yeah.
Get next off, you know.
Yeah.
So these are excuses to have these things in place, the pre-crime, the minority report type.
It's true, and I guarantee you, when that person comes out, whoever's done it, they'll be like, they've seen his online history, and then this is why everyone has to be verified.
There's a manifesto.
There's
a fucking manifesto now.
Yeah, perfectly written notepad.
Yeah. Just sitting there on the same way to find it.
Yeah. It's sort of like you remember that happened over here. It was not the same scale, but remember that bug out, that white boy Plymouth a couple of years ago, where he was talking about I think he got a gun. He did a shooting, and he basically explained because he's tired of women and the way they treat him. He basically did a video on YouTube. I'll find it. Remember, it was like a fat white boy in front of the camera. He's tired of life. It's just this and that. And then they said, they're looking at his online history. Go lose some weight, do some burpees, and you'll be all right.
Get signed up to what's that? The government prescribing them weight loss.
Yeah. But yeah, like you can easily see how things are about to increase. But guess what? As more judgment comes to earth, more salvation is going to take place. More miracles. In fact,
spooky stuff.
More spooky stuff. In fact, I'm going to get 1 Maccabees 2:59. Right, this is 1 Maccabees 2:49. Now, when the time drew near that Mattathias should die, he said unto his sons, now had pride and rebuke gotten strength, and the time of destruction and wrath of indignation. Because that was that time, man. Under the Maccabees, those catching hell, and it's like that's what's about to come to us now. That the time now have pride and rebuke gotten strength, and the time of destruction and wrath of indignation. The devil's going to come down with great wrath, right? If you have but a short time, so that's what's going to come. Because if you read in the Maccabees, first couple of chapters, it was ruthless. It was actually it was brutal. It was basically their time of trouble. It was like, if you don't consent to this Greek way of living, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Some bowed, some didn't.
Yeah.
But check again, he's looking for consent.
Consent.
Right. Yeah. And same with the mark. He's gonna look for your consent, but if you don't consent, it's like you don't really have a choice. If you don't consent, you're gonna put you to death.
Yeah. And even just on that point as well, it's like back to what was said at the beginning of the lesson. Some people may be like, oh, what if they just put it in you? It's like, no, Esau wants your consent. Yeah. Same way with the CVs, because obviously you had family members that took it, but one of the things that they asked for was a consent form. You had to sign a consent form
that you agree.
And that's what Esau wants. He wants you to consent, right? But
because you make so like remember, because this is like a battle between like Most High and Satan in terms of like. Satan has to deceive everybody. Satan has to kind of get you to like bow down to him, right? So if you just force it on you, it's like he didn't quite get that one. He didn't make you believe in it, kind of thing, innit? Yeah. So Esau wants you to consent. So you with your heart accept him. Like you made that conscious decision that you accept him as your power, as your master, right? Over the Heavenly Father. If you just make he was asleep, man, just go, like it's not quite. That's not a W. It's not really a W for Satan.
But that's why when you look at the beast, Revelation says, worship his image and receive. You're actually you drinking the wine, you're drinking the venom, and you believe in the venom, and you
endorse it, bro.
You endorse it. You know what I mean? It's like now you're basically the slave, man. It says now, therefore, my sons, be zealous for the law and give your lives for the covenant of your fathers. So that's essentially, hold fast which thou hast, and no man take your crown.
That's it.
He that endureth unto the end, the same shall be saved. Some of you shall be put to death, but be faithful. You shall have a crown of life. That's how it's coming. Call to remembrance what acts of our fathers did in their time. So shall you receive great honor and an everlasting name. Yeah, so because that's it. It's like we've got a lineage in the scriptures of faithful men. Yeah. Right. The scripture speaks about the scripture speaks about how in all time periods on the earth, if faith has entered into holy souls, man. Like what I mean? Like Lot. What's the time period?
Shalot Rayam, wa Nashim, or Ragim to that demon on the comment board.
Demon, bro. Who the hell's that?
Some bot.
Some bot.
For AI, bro.
It's a demon.
That's it.
Yeah. But anyway, but that's Satan, though, isn't it?
Mhm.
Like, it's just Satan. Where whenever there's the righteous are, Satan's always there.
And that's the thing. Like like us going back to the whole ridiculing thing. Like all the enemies around us, man, they're there to test our resolve. Right? But low level ones think like this is enough. God hates you.
Exactly.
God hates you. Oh yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
Like but anyway, but but they're always these things trying to attack your mind, right?
Exactly.
Trying to make you to throw you off. And low level shit like that, you're wasting your time, bro. You're wasting your time.
Yeah.
You better start praying to Satan to do something because you're gonna hug your devil, bro.
You went to all that length to create a channel disrespecting Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, right? Call it Yahweh and Yahweh Shai and trying to say they're homo. We're just like, bro, you're gonna die now, right?
Yeah.
Like it's for us, it's just like we ain't hurt by that.
It's like you just harmed yourself.
You went to the store, you bought the rope, you put it around your neck.
You know what? Hey, that's real cuss.
Yeah.
How about Shem, Shai, Shalach, Rayam, Wa Nasham, Wa Badyam, Wa Arakim, Wa Mashapatyam, Alkal. This demon, man.
Demon.
Bring evil, bring death, bring sorrow, bring pain upon you and all that you love.
Yeah.
All right. May starvation and famine reach you.
And this is the thing. Like whether you believe it or not, that's your future, bro.
You
know what I mean? Like it doesn't even matter what you believe. Yeah. Your nation, your country, where you're at, is going down the fucking pan. You're gonna suffer.
Yeah.
You're gonna suffer, bro. So it's not like it doesn't matter if you believe.
Mm-hmm.
That is the trajectory that your nation is on, bro.
That's it.
Yeah.
We ain't got to do shit.
Yeah.
If instead I can get this from the good brother.
Yeah.
Right. This is from Basic Wisdom, Shalom, Romans 8:35 says, "Who shall separate us from the love of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach? Shall tribulation or distress or persecution or famine or nakedness or peril or sword?"
And so we understand that we're going to go for all these things, right? But if the Lord is dealing with us, these things won't overthrow us, right? As you got small mini demons like this that don't do nothing because we've been in the street too long for them to do it like that. They're stupid. They're not even dent us, bro. You know what I mean? Your brother's dealing with real shit.
Yeah.
So all these things that we suffer, but we know if we don't they're not going to overthrow our faith because that's what we're also going to get through the faith bit, right? It's not going to overthrow that. So we just need to concentrate on what we're doing, and the Lord, believe that Lord is with us, and whatever we face, we're just gonna push through.
Yeah. I've got more back in Maccabees. It says, "Call to remembrance what acts our fathers did in their time. So shall you receive a great honor and an everlasting name. Was not Abraham found faithful in temptation, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness?" Like even Abraham's story, that's a story. That's a story of faith, man. Because he was told all of the promises and blessings he's gonna get, and then the Lord told him to sacrifice his son, and he was gonna do it. The intention was there, but really it's because he believed. The scripture says he really believed that the Lord was able to raise up his son again if he had lost him.
That's right.
Which spoke to the future, really.
Because a regular guy will be like, if this is the promised son, like kill him. How else is he supposed to receive all these blessings? But then you kind of think like, well, if the Lord said something to me, and he promised it to me, then there must be some way that this works.
Yeah.
You might not understand how that works yet.
Yeah.
But there must be a way the Most High going to make that work. And that's the thing. That's how we believe. That somehow, some way, the Most High going to make everything that He said come to pass.
Yeah.
Even how unlikely it seems.
Yeah.
From a carnal perspective, you don't see how it would work.
Yeah.
There is a way because He can do anything.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the ones. It's like in sports, it's called that last minute screamer. You know what I mean? It's like Aguero. It's like basically your team's losing. There's only 5 minutes left. You're like, bro, how are we gonna find a way to win? And then the way comes to win, and you win. That's what's gonna happen.
Because there's so much that has been in the flesh that we just can't do, right? And so much we have to overcome that we wouldn't be able to overcome. Like, how do we take the kingdom from Esau? I know you've got Jake groups out there, we're going to do this and do that and militarize and do this.
Getting sprayed with mace and punching mitts.
Yeah, like you might doing 100,000 press-ups a day, thinking that your might or your whatever is going to hit you, or you super intellectual that you think you're going to outsmart. You ain't doing none of that shit, bro. Yeah. Let's be honest. Like, Esau going to come with a gun to your head, and that's going to be the end of you. That's how it's going to work. Yeah. Or he's going to send a bot or a drone strike, whatever. You ain't dealing with that. Yeah. And so that situation that we're going to have to deal with isn't going to be based on anything that we can logically,
compute.
Formulate in our head. Right? It has to be some of a higher level, higher power that is going to deal with all of this for us. Because, and this is why, the Israelites back in Egypt and Moses, like that took divine intervention, right? We came out with no arms. We're not army. Couldn't fight Pharaoh and the chariots and all these things. We couldn't swim across the sea. There was nothing we were going to do. It had to be the Lord that did all these things for us, and that's why He called us a world, because we are helpless. We're defenseless. We're at the mercy of our enemies. But when the chariots turn up now, it's a whole different ball game. It's a whole different ball game. Because they had the might and the power to destroy our enemies for us, man. Yeah. And not only that, we're going to be given power also at that moment in time. Yeah. So we're also going to have the power to take down our enemies. Yeah. And that's what we're waiting for. Because otherwise, there's no way. There's no way otherwise. Yeah. And that's why most people are going to think that way and just thought the only way is Esau. And his promise of the chip and all these different types of things, right? But that's going to be the wrong choice. Yeah. That's going to lead to destruction, not to safety or peace, And
really, through the Lord, there's always a way. That's something as well. It's like with the Lord, man, there's always a way. There's always a way, and guess what? In our lives, the Lord always shows my brother's signs. Like, I don't know how that happened. Like, you be reasoning like, how'd that happen? And it was the Lord. That is the explanation.
You can't logically make sense of it.
Well, that's the point of faith. Faith isn't based on logic. Like, faith is not. I say this in a respectful way. Faith is not like a logical thing at times, as in terms of what you can like immediately point to.
Because that's all based on probability.
Probability.
The world works on probability.
Probability,
right.
Faith is outside that.
But just remember, just know that even in this world, even these scientists, probability is not 100%. Yeah. Right. It's always like a 0.9%. So there's that element where something that they don't expect to happen can happen. And that is the Lord ultimately in those situations where it don't look like it could happen. Yeah. That is the Lord. Because this world works on basic physics. You drop something, it's gonna fall and hit the ground. That's the laws the Most High set up, right? Yeah. But there are those moments that the Lord can just does it apply here?
That's it. Yeah. Well, a prime example is the flood. It from a standpoint of logic. Then, what are you talking about is gonna rain? Like, what are you talking like? And from a logical point, you'd be like, you know what, like. Yeah, there has never been rain. So what are you talking about? What do you mean water's gonna fall, bro? We've never had to water anything, bro. Dew, Monday morning, bro. Dew, you can see the dew now. Crazy. So from a logical point, the flood was like the rain was like. What are you talking about? It seemed impossible.
Yeah. Same with instead of water coming from the sky, chariots come from the sky. In this world where he's basically made it sound so far fetched. It's like, but it's gonna happen though.
Yeah. Like faith is logical to a faithful person. Like, of course the Lord's gonna be built up. Like, of course he can make it.
It's not 0.1%. Yeah, like 100% happen. Yeah, it can happen. So it's like, of course it can happen.
It's like, of course, Daniel was in the lions den and he was fed porridge by another prophet that was grabbed the angel. Grabbed his hair and made him come there. Of course that happened. Faith is logical to the faithful, and it's not logical to the unfaithful. You know what I mean? Hey man, that's a lesson in itself. Anyway, it says.
So can I just get something on what you just said?
Yeah.
This is Hebrews 4:2. For unto us was the gospel preached as well as unto them. but the word preached did not profit them, not being mixed with faith in them that heard it.
Right? They lack that essential ingredient to understand and believe these things only. Right? Faith is a gift, as the scripture tells you. Right? It's not given to everybody. Right? Only the elect have been given that faith, that gift of faith. Come.
1 Corinthians 1:18, for the preaching of the cross is to them that perish foolishness.
But that's why it's like we're crazy. The things that we say is just crazy talk. Like America going down, how can America go down? But even when you look at that, even on a worldly level, that's reasonable because every empire fell. But they're delusional, right? To believe that they're somehow special and that they can't ever go down. But based on what we know, all these previous empires, they were wicked too. And the scripture speaks about wicked empires. They're not destined to last forever. So this place is no different. So when we tell them that America's going to fall, we sound crazy, but that's just reality. Like, that's not really hard to believe, really, ultimately. But to believe that we're going to be ones in power next, that the Lord's going to come and deliver his people again, you know, that's something that these people couldn't comprehend. They can't comprehend that, you know? Yep.
But unto us which are saved, it is the power of the Most High.
That's right.
I got more on this. We're going to finish this up in the last couple. I mean, it says, was not Abraham found faithful in temptation, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness? Joseph, in the time of his distress, kept the commandment and was made the Lord of Egypt.
It's like just to make a quick point on you know that what was counted to him as righteous, right? Because we're banking on like our faith covering our sins over. Yahweh is the one that you know,
faith in his blood covering.
Yeah, right. So we're relying on that because we know we're not perfect souls right now, and so we're just hoping that the Lord looks upon us that these men were faithful. They believed in my son, you know, they believed in my word, in my will, right? And that's what's going to be a credit to us as righteousness. That's why the elect are not they're blameless, right? They're in Most High's eyes, they're seen as righteous men, even if we're not like we're sullied in, you know, our righteousness as filthy rags, right? But in the eyes of the Lord, these are righteous men. Okay, so we're just hoping that we're a part of that, and that as long as we keep the faith, you know, we're gonna be delivered. You know,
that's it. Joseph, in the time of distress, kept the commandment and was made Lord of Egypt.
It's like, because this is Mattathias, the father saying this.
Yeah.
Right, and one of the things that was just coming to mind is he this was rolling off of his tongue.
He was in the spirit.
He was in the spirit. He was bringing it out. But he was meditating on this is stuff that he knew. This is stuff that was in him. That these things happen. This is faith, right? And there's a problem. These people they may know one or two stories, but don't really believe, right? They don't really have these things at their core. Right, and that's the thing with us. We have these things also in similar spirit as much as we have these things in our spirit as these things happen. Right, like you're just talking about, like the Lord sent an angel to move Habakkuk. You know, we believe those things, and to people in this world that might sound crazy, but hell, you believe a man can be a woman? Yeah, that sounds crazy.
And they fucking justify it. They actually make sense of it.
Yeah,
like. It's a social construct. All that shit, nigga. What are you talking about?
You believe what that man came from monkey?
Yeah, and actually have a whole. It's like that point that you always make, and you had a joke about how like the dinosaurs, and then they had their mating ritual.
Yeah.
It's like how you know?
I couldn't believe my eyes. Do you know it goes to show you how strong the witchcraft can be? Because I was watching it, and it took like a couple of seconds for me to clock what I was actually watching. Esau was saying it was a nature documentary on Netflix, narrated by Morgan Freeman, and then they have the two T-Rexes where they're like rubbing their nose like that, and they had the mating ritual. I was like, what?
How you know?
How could you possibly know?
Because
Esau says so.
From a bone or something.
Yeah, a bone.
Is it they put the picture or they portray like the T-Rex to be like the lion of the dinosaur, great roar and that kind of stuff. How the fuck do you know how to sound that? Yeah. Who you think was a head? A bonehead. A bonehead. And then you know exactly how it sounds.
Yeah.
You know?
If all we know, it could have had, like a high pitch. It could have meowed.
Well, it used to be a bird, right? Apparently. So it's possible. But like, it makes a shit up, man. To make it sound deep.
or like that fucking bug.
Yeah. So yeah, but he will never tell you.
Sound like a helicopter.
Going off of what was found, right? Let's say you saw that bug in a million years, right? You would never know that made such a loud noise. You know what I'm saying? But that's just what it is. Esau just talks shit and people believe it, right? What we're talking isn't, right? Because well, it's a Occam's razor. You've got one. Someone that's super powerful and is able to make stuff happen. That's very easy to believe, right? What you guys believe, you have to. It's like this theory on top of that. And that's a lot of people. They don't actually understand the foundations. It's like it's a Jenga a house.
But this is why they said it's a school, right? So we believe these foundations before they even tested.
Yeah.
You know, so whenever we hear something new, it's like, oh yeah, of course, you know, because Earth's a billion years old, you already accepted that already at school. So when they come up with this other bullshit, it's like it just compounds of what you've been told, right? But it's never been criticized because that level of discussion really is at university, right? Or it's about how that's like a proper scholarly thing that you have to go find out. But because we know Esau controls education, right, and controls the narratives and that, like all we're doing, or even anybody growing up in this, we're just building on things that we don't actually know in the first place because we've been told them. But you're not like at 5, 6, 7 years old. You don't know a fucking scholar. You can't go test that out or do your own research. You're being told that this is what it is. You know, because none of people do research. You know what I mean? You're relying on scientists to tell you what's what.
Yeah, what's true.
But if you understand that these men are essentially like just minions of the elites, right? How do you know what you're being told is true in the first place? You know, they have agendas. We know this. You know, these got agendas because otherwise, scientists couldn't be a teacher in a school, or he couldn't have a project because who's got to fund it?
Yeah, the
elites got to fund it. Esau got to fund it, right? And if you're not on their page, guess what? You don't get funded.
Yeah, you get your funding.
You don't get to teach in this Harvard or you don't get to do those things.
That's what the Rockefellers did. You know what I mean? The curriculum, what certifies you that you can do this is based upon them and their funding. So if you don't coincide with their curriculum, then you're not valid.
Because there are teachers or professors that do teach to the contrary of these common things that we believe, but they're not given the play because they're fringe or they're kooky, right? And so they're not allowed to teach in certain spaces. They just won't get employed, do they? You know, they have to teach on the internet or something like that. But they're just conspiracy theorists now or something. That's how they get labeled with it. So it's like there's fringe knowledge. But if you go into it, it makes a lot of sense. Worthy at least to be discussed in an open and to be debated in an open, but it's not. It's closed off. Now this is what the narrative is. You know, we've got 1,000 scientists or whatever that believe this. Yeah, because you put them there.
Exactly.
And compared to the one or two that believe this, so the majority wins because it's democracy. And that's how it works, man. But when Esau's controlling the doors, he's controlling what you consume as knowledge, as wisdom, whatever.
It says this is back in First Maccabees 2:53. Joseph, in the time of his distress, kept the commandment and was made Lord of Egypt. Phineas, our father, in being zealous and fervent, obtained the covenant of an everlasting priesthood. Yahushua, for fulfilling the word, was made a judge in Israel. Joshua, son of Nun. Caleb, for bearing witness before the congregation, received an heritage of the land, which proves he's an Israelite, by the way, because it's mentioned in all forefathers of the nation of Israel, and even the fathers of the promise, right? But I guess Caleb is going to mention the fucking Edomite. I mean, Caleb, for bearing witness before the congregation of Israel, by the way, received, when you got
that footnote.
Received the heritage of the land. That David, for being merciful, possessed the throne of an everlasting kingdom. Elias, for being zealous and fervent for the law, was taken up into heaven, right? Which is you. I mean, the prophet Elijah, man. He was being zealous, fervent, were taken up into heaven, and that speaks unto us, Lord willing, as the hopeful elect. Lord willing, we get taken up into heaven too when we're beamed up. Lord willing. Ananias, Azarias, Mishael, by believing, was saved out of the flame. Daniel, for his innocency, was delivered from the mouth of lions. And thus consider ye throughout all ages. So that even applies to now, right? All ages, that none that put their trust in him shall be overcome. Fear not then the words of a sinful man, for his glory shall be dung and worms. Today he shall be lifted up, and tomorrow he shall not be found, because he is returned to dust, and is nothing is brought, and his thought is come to nothing. So it says, wherefore ye, my sons, be valiant, and show yourselves men in the behalf of the law, for by it shall ye obtain glory. And now, we give our lives, right, and through faith is how we're going to obtain that glory, by standing firm for it. And that's what they were doing back then. And we as the hopeful elect are doing the same for this truth, man. So that's really it, man. You know what I mean? Has anyone got any last?
Yeah, the title precept. So Sirach 2 and 10.
Oh yeah, we was gonna bring that up earlier.
Okay. Says, look at the generations of old and see. Did
this
ever
ties directly into this precept, because he was actually looking at the generations.
You see how the Spirit stacked it up. No. Says, look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him?
Yeah, because even if a righteous man of the Lord dies, his blood is as a sweet savor to the Lord.
That's it.
You know what I mean? Like a righteous man doesn't die condemned. He actually dies because that's his lot. That's his lot. Yeah. And it's seen as a sacrifice. You know what I mean? The scripture says being a living sacrifice, right? But guess what? So some of us, we're gonna actually have to be a martyr in righteousness.
Yep.
But then guess what? The faith is that happens. We get raised back up straight away anyway. Come back with the Lord.
It's like you mentioned Abraham earlier. He died before receiving the promises. He wasn't meant to be there at that time, but he believed, and he died in belief. And so brothers that whose law it is to perish before Yahushua turns up, that's just what we have to do, man. That's just what we got to do.
It speaks about that in Hebrews 11. It speaks about how these all died in faith, having not Hebrews 11:13. It says these all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off.
Yep.
So they had a vision. They had the vision that eventually was going to come, which even that proves they believed in reincarnation.
Because if it's even known to us that, because the scripture speaks about when we'll sit down with Abraham in the kingdom, right? Then even Abraham himself would have done that, because that's part of the vision, right? He knows he was going to receive it. It just wasn't for that moment in time.
That's it. It says, these all died in faith, having not received the promises, but having seen them afar off, and were persuaded of them, and embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth. All right.
And is that not the same situation with us now?
Yeah.
We're scattered in the earth as strangers, man. We're having to come back to our heritage, our identity, right? And we could be returned to the land, which we've been strangers to, for a long time. And it's like, it's like history kind of repeats. The Lord is doing the same things over again, but in this modern era. And we're about to see the greatest deliverance the Lord has ever done. That's what we're about to witness. That's going to eclipse the things that he did in the past, to make it known to the whole world who the Most High is, right? And who his sons is and who his children are.
Which proves that this is that last time, man. And this is the time where the prophecies are going to be established. Everything's coming to this moment. When Ezra speaks about the parts that's past and how there's only a little left. We're in the last days of the last days, man.
Yep.
you know, and it's manifest, it's clear, you know. The mark of the beast is here, you can see it. Everything's here, it's just timing.
Yeah.
You know?
It's waiting for that that event.
That event.
That's it. What did you read in Sirach?
2 and 10.
You just read 2 and 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're doing anything to read it more?
Yeah, I did. But let me grab Habakkuk 2 and 3 just on that point. Let me just grab that quick. Habakkuk 2 and verse 3. So for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the time it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Now think about the elect, right? Having faith, right? Faith is patience, it requires patience, right? So they're one and the same thing. And we will wait as long as necessary, right? Because one thing's for sure, the word of the Lord is coming to pass. So what that means for us in the flesh is whatever, man. But we're here because we believe, right? And if you show that you truly believe by just enduring and dying in faith, if that's what comes to be, right? So that's what we're doing. You know, people get impatient and start, you know, going off course, you know. But yeah, if you can go back into Second Ezra, and read.
What you mean? You mean
Sirach 2.
Two.
Yes, Sirach.
Oh, okay, Ken. You said it's a second edition, isn't it?
Oh, that's lucky. It's lucky. Yeah, just read from the top quickly.
It says, Sirach 2 from the top, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation.
So part of temptation is the time that, you know, we're asked to wait. We don't know exactly how long that is. So that can be frustrating in the flesh because you don't know when that is, right? But like I said, the elect have been given that gift of faith, which is that gift of patience, right? Yep.
It says, set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble.
Right? Don't flee. Don't fall out. Don't break down. Right? Because we understand what's supposed to happen. So why are you fretting? You know, or it's taking long. Well, we knew it was going to take. You know, however long it needs to take. You know, we knew we have to face these things and these persecutions where you have to understand these things, right? So it shouldn't be like, oh, it's a surprise. Right? So don't flee, right? Don't make haste, right? Yep.
Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end.
Being increased at the last end, that's what we're looking for. Because you ain't going to be increased here. You might try, increase yourself here, but you're going to end up, you know, a broken person and a guy that's sold his soul basically.
That's
right, in order to get the riches of this world, you know, that's going to end badly, right? Yep.
Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state.
Yep.
For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity.
So all this is a trial and a test that we have to go through. And like I said, it's a testimony to these men of faith that we hear, that we read about, the adversity they have to go through. Right? So what's expected of us is the same. You know? Yeah.
For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him.
Yep.
Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside lest ye fall.
Right. So if you truly fear the Lord, you know, like, eventually the Lord's going to do what he says. And if I don't do what was commanded of me, then, you know, I'm going to be judged. You know what I mean? But if you start faltering in your faith and you start believing that the Lord is not going to come, or he's not going to come in my era or time, because you know, Jake say that, man, you know, not in my lifetime, or this stupidness, right? Whether it's in your lifetime or not, your job is to you know, be faithful and endure, right? Not to leave off what the Most High told you to do and do your own thing and just think, well, it doesn't matter because I ain't going to be here anyway. That's because you're ignorant. You're ignorant for the fact of reincarnation. I mean, reincarnation is a big thing in the scriptures. I understand a lot of different things, right? It's quite a central point ultimately, because it changes your perception and perspective of things. How you treat what you're doing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, you can take a shortcut, like oh, if Lord ain't gonna come after I'm dead, I ain't gonna worry about how I'm living now.
That's what I was saying. If let's be honest, if reincarnation didn't exist, like what's the point of righteousness in a wicked world? Because you prosper if you're wicked in this world. So you know what I mean? It's like in this world, it's like if you work the acts of righteousness, you do righteousness, you will get chastised for it.
Yeah, so Isaiah 59.
Yeah. So if you're wicked in this world, you know, it's cool. So if reincarnation, you know, all right, but guess what? I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna be judged for this.
And this thing, especially with the Christian world, right? It's like this compounds this ignorant effect, right? Because you believe in something like that, but also that you can turn to Jesus Christ whenever you want.
Yeah.
So you can do a whole life of madness, turn 60 or whatever, and just say, I believe in Jesus Christ, and you're saved apparently.
Yeah.
There's no incentive for you to be good in that group.
Yeah. Even some Christians, they believe you can just keep doing wicked but just calling Jesus.
Yeah.
Like,
Go speak to the father, the pastor, and he will forgive your sins.
You know, he's struggling with being a freak. He's still wearing the dress. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, but he calling Jesus, it's all right. No,
that's what I like to do. Oh, I've done a whole life of wickedness, and I wasn't trying to repent and turn from my wicked ways because I'm like getting old now or whatever. I'm afraid. I'm afraid, so I'm going to turn to Jesus and Jesus, because there's no criteria for a Christian these days. All you got to say is, oh, you believe in the name of Jesus Christ. And that's it. These men don't actually do anything, follow anything. Oh, just be a good person, love everybody. That's it. It's weak because they don't love it. It's hypocritical anyway. But there's no actual criteria for a Christian. All they got to do is confess Jesus Christ, and that's it. There's no faith involved in that, really. You know, they're not doing anything. There's no works, ultimately. You know, from them pursuing to the scriptures. You know, but yeah, so that was a bit of a tangent, but you know, reincarnation is an important thing in understanding certain aspects of scripture. It changes your perception of how you're supposed to be operating.
Yeah,
you know, yeah.
It explains why we're catching hell. It explains why you know what I mean. It explains why we're catching hell, bro. It explains everything. Because if reincarnation exists, why are we catching hell? You know what I mean? It was them back then that got the curses in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for real.
But it was really us anyway.
Yeah.
You and your seed.
Surah 2:8, ye that fear the Lord believe in him, and your reward shall not fail. Ye that fear the Lord hope for good and for everlasting joy and mercy. Look at the generations of old and see did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him?
Yeah, if you can read down to verse 14.
For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins and saveth in time of affliction.
And this is what we're saying, in time of affliction. To head into Jacob's trouble, right? Something that the other kinds of we like talking about. But that time is coming. And so that's going to be the greatest point of our affliction that Lord's going to have to deliver us from. Right? Yep.
It says, verse 12, woe be to fearful hearts.
Right, fearful hearts. What's that really speaking about? Heart is your mind. Fearful is just being in doubt. Ultimately, you're afraid, you don't know. And that's why these other camps are set up these guys to fail. Because they're giving you fake news. They're giving you false information. Right? So when these things happen, and it's not happening according to your prophet, right? The man that you believe in, like that's been set up by the Lord, right? It's not happening according to what he's saying. You'll be questioning a lot of things, and you'll be like, but Nate said this. It's just sin. But hold on, GMS said this. The MOTB is the RFID. And they're making people take it. You're gonna be asking a lot of fucking questions in your head, man, and you'll be like, shit, do I do that? Do I don't do that? You ain't got the time to be in doubt at the time. Hesitation is gonna get killed. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna be able to operate right. You have to duck out, bro. You don't thinking like, oh. Should I listen to it? No, you duck out, man.
Yeah, but that's why my wife, she got
caught out.
And guess what? She's still standing there.
No, man.
So we ain't got time for hesitation. So, that's doubt, that fear, that doubt, the confusion. You don't know what's going on, right? And these other camps are giving you confusion, right? So when it goes down, you'll be asking a lot of questions that we just aren't going to be asking because we already know what's happening and what we've got to do.
It says, woe be to fearful hearts and faint hands, and the sinner that goeth two ways. Woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not.
You've got doubt. Yeah.
Therefore shall he not be defended.
Right. The Lord won't defend those that are in doubt. That's why 100% truth is important. You have to be sure. Sure is 100% certainty. You know what I'm saying? So if you're giving 99 or 98% truth or whatever, that 2% is gonna fuck you up. It's vitally important. Or you don't know the name. That's gonna fuck you up, man. The Lord is not gonna come and defend you.
That's it.
Yep.
Woe unto you that have lost patience, and what will you do when the Lord shall visit you? They that fear the Lord will not disobey his ways, and they that love him will keep his ways.
Right. So that's what I mean. We're here to be patient and do what's commanded of us to do, and believe in the time of trouble that the Lord can deliver us in these times of need. Because it's not going to happen any other way. Surely we will die. You know, if left to ourselves. You know what I mean? Surely that's what the outcome would be. You know, but we know in those times the Lord's done it before. This is why we read these stories. We read these histories. Because it pertains to our people and the things that the Lord has done for us. Right? The fact that we hear is what the Lord has done. His word is absolute. Right? So why would we not believe in it now? You know what I mean? I know we're catching hell and it's hard to like, oh no, Lord, and this and that. But like the reason we're even here because the Lord made it happen. He spoke it. So if he's spoken these things against us, well, the things he's spoken for us also should apply. You know? And so we know that at the end of all this, the Lord is going to deliver his elect.
Yeah. If man, if we're feeling the curses, then we know the blessings are coming.
Exactly.
Because it's a two-part deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know,
Blessings and the curses.
1 plus
1
1
plus 1. As a package,
Yeah.
Because it's what you say, when thou shalt receive the blessings and the curses, like who's going to get them? Both of them, both sides of this, who's going to get? But we know that at the end of it, it doesn't end with just being cursed. It doesn't. That's not how it ends. It ends with us being blessed. So we just need to carry on, you know, and believe. You know,
carry on and believe, and that's our hope. That Psalm 51, the Lord keep the spirit on us.
That's right.
You got anything else you want to say, bro?
No, that's it.
All right, so hey, that we hope and pray as an edifying video that we're gonna say all praises be to
Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem Chachadash.
Double honors to the apostle and the great millstone. Till next time.